Well, happy Tuesday to you. Chris Hare here, the world champion crypto cowboy, and we made a run today. I'm bringing you a nightly Bitcoin update, and we had a really good run today. I've been telling you guys it was coming. I've been telling you that for the past several days, and it finally happened. Well, where do we go from here? We're going to figure it out tonight. We're going to start off in that hourly chart, and I'm going to give you some ideas for the next day or two. Then we'll get out on that 4 hour, that daily, and that weekly chart. And I'll give you some middle and long range targets. I think you're going to like what I have to see, but we need to address the 800-pound elephant in the room. But while we're in here, and that's the decision the Supreme Court makes tomorrow on whether Trump's tariffs are legal. I've been reading on it, and I don't know that it's as big of an issue as we want to make it out to be. I read it in Forbes, and it was talking about the longer this drags out, the more likely it is that they're to uphold the tariff law. If they do make a decision tomorrow, they say there's only about $130 billion that will need to be paid back. And they said the majority of that probably won't have to be paid back because it'll cost the businesses that need to reclaim that money. It'll cost them so much money and lawyers and time in court that it's not really worth it. So maybe it's a nothing burger. I don't know. There's a lot of bullish sentiment right now. There's a lot of bullish news. I'm bullish, cautiously bullish, but I think we're getting to a point that we're going to make a big decision on what's going to happen. But let's go ahead and get into it. That's enough of talking about that. I'm going to start off with my trade wins. I post these trades over in the crypto school, give signals over there, and we have absolutely printed. We opened AVAX yesterday, 252%. So Solana almost to 10x, 950%. We've been sitting on that one a while. XRP today, 204. Bitcoin, 975%, almost to 10x. Like I said, I've been holding on to that one since about 87,000. Took a SUI trade today, 144%, and Ethereum, 421%. Entry was about 29.26. I use Blowfin to do all my futures trading on. It works very well for me. It was the only exchange that didn't go down during the flash crash. And right now, the first 300 registered users that use my link down in my description get a $10 voucher, and each new user gets VIP1 for 30 days. But they do have a big futures bonus on your deposits. Even if you're already signed up, you're eligible for these deposits. Go check out the link in my description. I do enjoy using that exchange. All right, let's get into it. Let's figure out what's going on. We'll start off with the crypto fear and greed index, currently at a 47. We moved all the way up to neutral today. Market sentiment's coming back, and it's expected after that pump. I kind of told you guys it will. What we're going to watch this for, it measures market sentiment, but if we get up into greed and extreme greed and we're about 105, 103, 108, I'm going to have some concerns that we're done. This needs to go up slower. It took a pretty big pump today, but we'll keep up with it. Moving on to liquidation heat map, this is what market makers use to track your liquidity, and it's where I start my day. Before I ever take a trade, I check these liquidation heat maps because it's what market makers use to track your liquidity. That's why this market seems so dang manipulated, because it is. They don't really worry about TA. All they do is move the charts and grab your liquidation points. Everything above price action is a short trade. Everything below price action is a long trade. And this is a macro chart. So we've got about $9 billion worth of short liquidations left. I know we liquidated a bunch of them today. And now we've got about $6.5 billion to the top in longs loaded in. And you can see there's a lot of late longs that have piled in here and some big shorts that have piled in as well. You do have some liquidity down here at about 83,000, all the way down to about 81,000, but there's some bright pockets up here, guys. 107,000, 118,000, 111,000, all the way up to 126,000. That gives you an idea. There's still a lot of liquidations to grab up high. We'll go down to the 1 week liquidation heat map to figure out what's happening. And then I think we're ready for a retest. We absolutely blew it out of the water today, all the way up to about 96.8. And now we're going to come down. Cumulative totals right now, $132 million worth of short trades. It's all on the long side, guys, 2.68 billion. Really bright pockets here at about 93,000 on down to about 92. And then there's a mess of liquidation points all the way down to about 88,000. What does that mean for price action? Well, we're going to get into the charts and figure it out. I post all these charts in the crypto school. You'll find the link to that in my description. I've been posting signals that is absolutely printed. We are making money, guys, but we're going to figure out where Bitcoin's going because I want to keep making that money. So we ran all the way up today. We blew out of that golden zone. I told you we probably would at least go in and consolidate, and we did. And we consolidated a little at about 92.1, and then we just shot off to the races. Made it all the way up to this 1 hour extension. The Crusader signal, the indicator that I promote, printed a sell signal right as it hit that golden zone. Pretty darn impressive. You'll find a link to that in my description. It's an outstanding thing. I've been using it just to kind of validate what I'm thinking, and it does it every time. I'm really impressed. But what I think now is we've got to have some kind of retest. I think that we may not drop below about 94,430 because of the peak here. If we drop below, I think 93,000 is probably where you start, 92,815, but your golden zone on your retracement sits at about $92,000 to $90,000. Somewhere in there, we'll probably see some kind of bounce. It's hard to say right now. There's a new moon that prints tomorrow, and I don't know. It's witchcraft. My buddy Leisurefish loves it. He swears by it. He follows these charts, and usually he's pretty damn accurate. But it prints tomorrow, and you're usually due for some kind of pullback on a new moon. Full moons, it usually likes to run up. So that makes me think probably most of the day tomorrow, we're probably going down to retest these zones here. Moving out to the 4 hour chart, we'll get into that macro picture of what's going on. I think eventually, like I said, I think you probably retest right here about 94.70 and you finish this out to the 4 hour extensions. Your weekly 50 simple moving average sits at 101,326. That's our first big resistance to get over. What I think is probably going to happen, we may, retest a little, run up and grab that, and then I think we pull down tomorrow for a more significant pullback, probably back down to at least this daily 50 moving average at about 95.8. You can't rule out about $93,000, $92,000. This yellow trend is significant, and we're going to pay attention to it because if we lose this and start losing all these supports that we built, I think we're in a bear market, and it's going to get ugly. That's kind of where I am. This thing really needs to run up and make some kind of showing and do some kind of retest to make me think otherwise. Moving out to the daily chart, you can see I went ahead and put the old bull market trend back on my charts. That's it right there. Goes right through the golden zone. We're working up. We've got the buy strings from the Crusader signal that said, hey, we're about to go, and now we're going. I've told you guys since probably about the 15th of December, I thought we were setting up for a run. It started respecting these trend lines. And that's exactly what it's done. So here we are nearly a month later, and we're finally going up. I told you guys it was going up. You better like and subscribe to my channel because we are nailing these targets. What has to happen now? We've got to get over this weekly 50 at about 101,000. If we can get over it, do a successful retest, start working our way up, 108 to 116,000 is on the table. That puts you on the bottom side of the old bear market trend that we've lost. I've told you sometimes these things drop down and they'll work back up and reclaim them. If that happens, I think 138 to 154 is on the table. But if we reject that and lose this yellow line here, I'm bailing, guys. I'll close any of my long trades there. We'll flip short and we'll ride the thing down to the 50s. Looking at the weekly chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's the old trend line working its way up. Here's the new trend line working its way up. Like I said, the decider is going to be up here at about 114,000 if we can get over 101,349. If we can do all this and get back inside of this top trend, then there's no doubt that 139 to 156 is on the table. We got a ways to go to get there. There's a lot of things that need to happen. I'm starting to get optimistic about it, but we need to be careful. The good thing about this is we do it every single night, so we'll have a good idea before it happens. I'll circle back around tomorrow. We'll do it all again, but don't forget to like and subscribe, tap that bell notification, and leave us a comment. Let me know what you think about what I'm throwing down here. I really think we're setting up for a run. I really want to think that 130, 150 isn't out of the question. Starting to think it might not be. But getting over that weekly 50 is going to be a big exclamation point, and I think that's where fireworks are going to start. It's going to get exciting. If we reject, it'll get dismal, and we're headed to $50,000. Either way, we're going to make money off of it. We'll long it up or we'll short it down. But I'll wrap it up with that. Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. I really appreciate you guys spending time with me. We'll see you down the road.